Every day, billions of people obey three simple colors: red, yellow, green. Without thinking, we stop, we wait, we move. A few seconds can decide whether we arrive safely or become part of a tragic statistic. More than 1.3 million people die in road accidents every year around the world. Yet one invention has saved countless more lives than almost any other piece of road technology. The strange part is that it wasn't invented for cars. In fact, the very first traffic light appeared before the automobile even existed. So why would anyone build a traffic signal when there were no cars to control? The answer begins in a city drowning in chaos. But this story doesn't begin there. It begins with horses. In the middle of the 19th century, London was the largest city on earth. Its population had exploded during the Industrial Revolution. Factories attracted workers from every corner of Britain. Businesses grew. Trade flourished. The city never seemed to sleep. But with that growth came an unexpected problem. The streets were becoming impossible to navigate. Picture this. Thousands of horse-drawn carriages filled narrow roads every day. Double-decker horse buses competed for space with delivery wagons. Street vendors pushed heavy carts through crowds. Pedestrians crossed wherever they could. There were no lanes, no speed limits, no traffic signals, only noise. Horses neighed. Wheels rattled across stone roads. Drivers shouted at one another. The streets had become organized chaos. But there was one problem. One intersection was more dangerous than all the others. Outside the Houses of Parliament in Westminster, politicians, government officials, merchants, and ordinary citizens crossed the same busy road every day. Traffic became so crowded that police officers struggled to control it. Accidents became increasingly common. Something had to change. Nobody expected the solution to come from the railway. At the time, railways were one of the safest forms of transportation in Britain. Thousands of trains traveled across the country every day. They avoided collisions for one simple reason: signals. Railway engineers had developed systems using colored lights and movable arms to tell train drivers when to stop or continue. One engineer believed those same ideas could work on city streets. His name was John Knight. Knight had spent years designing railway signaling systems. As he watched London's streets descend into confusion, he noticed something surprising. Traffic behaved much like trains. Everyone wanted to move, but nobody knew whose turn it was. This changed everything. Knight proposed building the world's first road traffic signal. It sounded almost ridiculous. How could a railway signal possibly control horses and carriages? Many people doubted the idea. Others laughed. But London's growing traffic left officials with few alternatives. In December 1868, workers installed an unusual structure outside the Houses of Parliament. It looked nothing like today's traffic lights. During the day, two large mechanical arms pointed in different directions. Raised horizontally, they instructed drivers to stop. Lowered at an angle, they allowed traffic to proceed. At night, things became even more interesting. The signal used gas-powered lanterns instead of electricity. One lantern displayed a red light, the other displayed a green light. An operator standing beside the signal manually changed the lights using a lever. Think about that. The world's first traffic light wasn't automatic. It needed a person standing beside it every day. It wasn't controlling cars. It was controlling horses. Yet the basic idea remains exactly the same today. One color means stop, another means go. But that's only part of the story. The world's first traffic light had a deadly flaw. Gas-powered lanterns relied on pressure. If something went wrong, the consequences could be catastrophic. And that's exactly what happened. Only weeks after installation, the signal exploded. The gas lamp suddenly burst, seriously injuring the police officer operating it. The accident shocked the city. Confidence in the invention disappeared almost overnight. Authorities removed the traffic signal. For decades, nobody tried again. It seemed as though the experiment had failed forever. Imagine living at that time. If you crossed London's streets after 1869, you would never see another traffic light. Not for years. Most people assumed the idea had died with the explosion. But history had other plans. Because while London abandoned traffic signals, another invention was quietly preparing to transform the world: the automobile. At first, very few people cared about cars. They were noisy, expensive, unreliable. Many broke down after only a short journey. Horse-drawn transport still ruled the streets. Few imagined automobiles would replace it. Then the 20th century arrived. Everything changed. Mass production made cars cheaper. Factories built thousands, then hundreds of thousands. Soon, millions. Cities that had once struggled with horses now faced an even greater challenge. Cars moved faster, much faster. And unlike horses, they couldn't think. A frightened horse might avoid a collision. An automobile simply kept moving unless someone pressed the brakes. Accidents increased rapidly. Police officers stood in busy intersections, waving their arms for hours every day. It worked, but only barely. As traffic grew heavier, even hundreds of officers couldn't keep up. cities desperately needed another solution. Then, in 1914, something remarkable appeared in Cleveland, Ohio. Engineers installed one of the first electric traffic signals. Unlike London's gas-powered version, electricity made the system safer and more reliable. The signal displayed only two colors, red and green. A loud buzzer warned drivers before the lights changed. There was still one problem. Drivers often accelerated the instant the green light appeared. Others raced to beat the red light. The sudden changes caused confusion. Engineers realized something was missing. A warning. A signal that told drivers the light was about to change. It seemed like a small adjustment. It wasn't. Because one additional color would completely transform road safety around the world. And its inventor wasn't an engineer. He was a police officer. The missing color was yellow. And the man who helped bring it to life wasn't a famous inventor or scientist. He was a police officer named William Potts, working in Detroit during the early 1920s. Potts witnessed the same problem every day. Cars were becoming faster, roads were becoming busier, and intersections were becoming more dangerous. The two-color traffic signals simply weren't enough. Drivers often slammed on their brakes when the lights suddenly turned red. Others accelerated, hoping to beat it. The result was confusion. And confusion on a busy road could be deadly. But there was one problem. How do you tell thousands of drivers that a red light is coming before it actually arrives? Potts already knew the answer. Railroads had been using a third color for years, yellow. It warned train engineers to slow down because conditions ahead were changing. Potts believed streets needed the same warning. It sounded simple. It wasn't. Adding a third light required redesigning the entire system. Cities would have to install new equipment. Drivers would have to learn new rules. Officials weren't convinced. Still, Potts kept pushing. In 1920, Detroit introduced one of the world's first four-way, three-color traffic lights. For the first time, drivers didn't have to guess what was coming next. Yellow gave them a moment to prepare. A few seconds, that's all. But those few seconds would save countless lives. This changed everything. As American cities watched Detroit's success, they quickly followed. Traffic lights appeared in New York, Chicago, and dozens of other growing cities. The invention spread faster than anyone expected. Then something remarkable happened. Traffic lights crossed oceans. European cities began installing them. Asian cities followed. Soon, almost every major city in the world was using some version of the same three colors. Think about that. People speak thousands of different languages, but almost everyone understands one universal message. Red means stop. Green means go. Yellow means prepare. Few inventions have crossed cultural boundaries so completely. But that's only part of the story. Traffic lights didn't just organize roads. They changed how cities were built. Before traffic signals, intersections were unpredictable. Businesses hesitated to expand into congested areas. Pedestrians crossed wherever they wanted. Long-distance driving was slow and exhausting. Traffic lights created order. That order allowed cities to grow taller. Roads became wider. Suburbs expanded farther from city centers. Commuting became easier. One invention quietly reshaped modern urban life. Nobody expected what happened next. As cars became faster after the Second World War, engineers realized fixed traffic lights weren't always efficient. Imagine sitting at a red light in the middle of the night. No cars are coming. No pedestrians are crossing. Yet you still have to wait. Millions of drivers wasted millions of hours every year. There had to be a better way. Engineers introduced sensors beneath the road surface. These sensors detected waiting vehicles. Instead of following a fixed timer, traffic lights could now respond to real traffic. For the first time, intersections were making simple decisions on their own. It seemed like a small improvement. It wasn't. Cities suddenly moved more efficiently. Fuel consumption dropped. Traffic congestion eased. Emergency vehicles reached destinations faster. Then computers entered the picture. Individual traffic lights stopped working alone. Entire networks became connected. A central computer could monitor dozens or even hundreds of intersections simultaneously. If traffic built up in one area, signal timings changed automatically. Rush hour became easier to manage. Entire cities began thinking like living organisms. But there was one problem. Cities kept growing. Today, more than half of the world's population lives in urban areas. Every day, billions of journeys begin and end. Managing that movement has become one of humanity's greatest engineering challenges, and traffic lights continue to evolve. Artificial intelligence is now entering intersections.
Queensland will soon be home to Australia's first ever traffic lights to be controlled by the power of AI.
Modern systems analyze live traffic using cameras, sensors, and advanced software, instead of following pre-programmed schedules. Some traffic lights learn from traffic patterns. They predict congestion before it happens. They adjust in real time. Some even give priority to ambulances, fire engines, and public transport. Imagine an ambulance approaching a busy intersection. Instead of waiting for traffic to clear, The lights ahead turn green automatically. Those saved seconds can mean the difference between life and death. The invention that once relied on a police officer pulling a lever beside a gas lamp is now powered by algorithms making thousands of calculations every minute. And yet, despite all the technology, the basic idea hasn't changed. John Knight wanted to solve a dangerous intersection in London. William Potts wanted to prevent drivers from crashing into one another. More than 150 years later, their ideas still guide billions of people every single day. Think about how ordinary traffic lights seem. Most of us barely notice them. We glance up, see a color, and continue our journey. Yet behind those few seconds of waiting lies a story of exploding gas lamps, railway engineers, determined police officers, rapid industrial growth, and cities struggling to survive their own success. The next time you stop at a red light, remember this. You're not just obeying a signal. You're following a system shaped by more than a century of innovation, failure, and human ingenuity. A system born long before cars ruled the roads. A system that has quietly saved millions of lives without asking for recognition. Sometimes, the greatest inventions aren't the ones that move us forward. They're the ones that know exactly when to make us stop.